I want to thank everybody for the tremendous support. I'm going to Walter Reed Hospital. I think I'm doing very well, but we're going to make sure that things work out. The First Lady is doing very well. So thank you very much. I appreciate it. I will never forget it. Thank you.
Breaking tonight, after contracting the coronavirus, President Trump has arrived at Walter Reed Medical Center, where he'll spend the next few days, the White House says. You are hearing a video message the president tweeted right before boarding Marine One, which is the video you're seeing right now. He was thanking people for their support after the news broke. We are learning that the visit is a precautionary one, and the president will work from the hospital, they say, which will allow him to continue with his official duties. Good evening, and thank you for joining us. I'm Mark Hanrahan.
Welcome, everyone. I'm Whitney Ward. So this new information is raising a lot of questions about what would happen if he were not able to carry out his presidential duties because of this illness. So here's what we found out. The president's announcement just last night came after one of his closest aides, Hope Hicks, tested positive for the virus on Wednesday.
She traveled with the president to Ohio and Minnesota this week. He confirmed her positive test on Fox News last night while awaiting his own results.
I just went out for a test. They just do it. It'll come back later, I guess. And the First Lady also, because we spend a lot of time with Hope and others.
The White House physician's office now conducting contact tracing. It's still unclear right now just how many people may have been exposed.
Take a look now at this map showing where the president has been over the last few days. Starting on Monday, he was in D.C., where he held multiple events. Tuesday, he traveled to Cleveland for the first presidential debate of 2020. Then on Wednesday, he made 2 stops in Minnesota for a fundraiser and also a rally. And finally, he flew back to New Jersey on Thursday.
Meanwhile, Vice President Mike Pence's office announced he tested negative for COVID-19 this morning. Democratic presidential nominee Joe Biden tweeted that his thoughts and prayers are with the president and First Lady for a swift recovery. Biden, who shared the debate stage with the president on Tuesday, was tested this morning. His campaign says that test came back negative.
Now, multiple White House staffers have previously tested positive for the virus, including Mike Pence's press secretary, Katie Miller, National Security Advisor Robert O'Brien, and one of the president's personal valets. A White House official did confirm today that Chairwoman Ronna McDaniel has also tested positive. That came down on Wednesday afternoon. She has been at her home in Michigan since last Saturday and did not attend the debate. Also, Senator Mike Lee is among White House officials who have tested positive for the virus.
The latest in political figures sending well wishes to President Trump, the First Lady, former President Barack Obama. He said, Michelle and I hope that the President, the First Lady, and all those affected by the coronavirus around the country are getting the care they need and are on the path to a speedy recovery. Local lawmakers from across the political spectrum are also sending their well wishes.
Washington Governor Jay Inslee says he hopes the president and First Lady have a speedy recovery. He tweeted today saying the virus does not discriminate based on our politics. We hope everyone will protect their health and the health of those around them by doing what we know works.
Idaho Governor Brad Little said he and his wife are also sending prayers their way. He wrote, quote, "The pandemic is not over and we must remain vigilant in defense of the virus. Wash your hands, wear a mask. Together we will get through these unprecedented times."
The Constitution's 25th Amendment does spell out the procedures under which a president can declare themselves unable to discharge the powers and duties of the presidency.
So if he were to make that call, the president would transmit a written note to the Senate president and the House Speaker. Vice President Mike Pence would then serve as the acting president until President Trump transmitted a written declaration to the contrary.
Now, we wanted to kind of put what is happening into context, so we did reach out to Dr. Robert Donnelly. He is an associate history professor at Gonzaga University.
He said it is pretty common for presidents to go to Walter Reed for treatment for things like the flu, but in recent history at least, it's pretty rare for a sitting president to get any sort of long-term treatment at the hospital.
But it's rare that a president would have to go to the hospital for long-term treatment, except for, again, Reagan for the assassination attempt. But for the most part, in 20th century presidential history, the presidents kind of tend to hide their ailments.
And the second presidential debate is now just 2 weeks away, though many wondering if there will even be one now that the president has contracted the virus.
And that has led to a lot of claims online. So here's our Verify team's Jason Puckett breaking down the most viral claims.
We're talking about the president and First Lady testing positive for COVID-19 and what that means this close to an election, and what Senator Mike Lee's positive diagnosis could mean for the vote to advance Judge Amy Coney Barrett as the Supreme Court nominee. First question, if the president is sick, can the election be delayed? Yes, but Congress would have to make that decision, and they don't have much time. Article 2 of the Constitution says Congress determines the time of the vote. The law currently sets Election Day as the first Tuesday following the first Monday of November. So Congress would have to pass a new law to change that, requiring approval by both the House and Senate. However, the 20th Amendment says that the new Congress and president must be in place by January. Next question. What happens with the election if a candidate drops out of the race this late? Well, according to the bylaws of both the Democratic National Committee and Republican National Committee, the leadership of both parties would decide who replaces the candidates. That's only happened once in 1972 when VP candidate Thomas Eagleton resigned from the Democratic ticket after the DNC. Party leaders replaced him with another candidate. The big difference, though, that all happened in August. So what about the debates? The next presidential debate is scheduled for the 15th, less than 2 weeks from now. CDC guidelines for COVID-19 patients include isolating for at least 10 days after symptoms first appear. So will the next debate be moved, canceled, or done virtually? Well, right now, we don't know. The Commission on Presidential Debates hasn't said what they're doing in response to this news. As of now, the debates are still scheduled. The last question has to do with Senator Mike Lee's announcement that he tested positive for COVID-19 and is isolating right now. Senator Lee sits on the Senate Judiciary Committee, which is scheduled to start nomination hearings for Judge Amy Coney Barrett to serve as a Supreme Court justice starting October 12th. Main question, can Senator Lee vote remotely if he's still isolated? We checked with the rules of the Senate Judiciary Committee and found the answer is yes. In the committee, a senator can vote, quote, by writing or by telephone or through personal instructions. However, if the vote moved past the committee while Lee was still isolating, he would have to return in person to vote on a Senate floor vote because voting by proxy is not allowed outside committees. Now, so far, both Mike Lee and Judiciary Committee Chair Senator Lindsey Graham both say Lee is planning to isolate now, but will return in person to vote on the nomination process. Folks, if you have other claims or questions for us to look into, send us an email. With your Verify, I'm Jason Puckett.
It's a lot, and we will continue to track all of these updates and bring you the very latest. And remember, for more information on this developing story, just go to KREM.com. In the meantime, the general election now just over a month away, and in Spokane County, ballots will be sent out to voters starting October 9th, which is 9 days earlier than expected. According to the county auditor, this is being done because they want to give the U.S. Postal Service a little more time to return the ballots in time for November 3rd. For important information on voting in this upcoming election, all you have to do is text the word VOTE to 509-448-2000.
All right, let's switch gears for a moment, shall we? Simply just not a normal start weather-wise for the month of October.
Who would have thought it's 2020 after all?
kidding.
Meteorologist Thomas Patrick is joining us now to talk about high temperatures just in time for the weekend.
Yeah, it feels a bit more like August, except without the smoky skies overhead. I mean, 80 degrees has been just fantastic this week. So even though it is unusual, I think everybody's going to be taking advantage of the exceptional weather for this weekend. It's still 75 and sunny skies out there. Maybe just the lightest, thinnest layer of haze overhead, but nothing that is disturbing us or our air quality. And I love that the fall color is a little bit of yellow out at Riverfront Park this afternoon. Those fall colors are going to look great for this weekend. There are some 80s in Lewiston, Ritzville, Moses Lake, and Omak as of right now. And I think a few more locations will be hitting right at 80 degrees, including Spokane for tomorrow afternoon, just shy of record high temperatures. Again, maybe just the thinnest layer of haze overhead, but otherwise plenty sunny, plenty warm, plenty enjoyable, and even our overnight's not all that cold for October standards. Our temperatures remain above average through the mid part of the month as well, but some showers will eventually be back in our forecast. So I'm going to detail just how long of a dry stretch we are in for and when is those next chances for rainfall.